Hello everybody. Hi.
Hello.
Finally we are making a collab with the final person of the unintentional group that kinda end up existing. What?
Yeah. It's so funny how we just sorta clicked with each other and then made a group.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Then
I guess we're a group now.
Yeah. It was very funny because Grimm, when I asked people for voice acting, you weren't in the group of people that end up in that chat where we do our stuff and our collabs and whatnot. But then you kind of knew about me and I was like, okay, hello, you know that I exist, hi. And I started seeing you reply and chat with others, like, oh, that's the other person, let me connect with that person. Ooh, another person, yoink in the chat.
She was like, grabs me by the collar and pulls me and is like, you're coming with me.
Oh my god, no. You're gonna perpetuate the whole joke my chat makes with me being royalty and whatnot. Okay, so welcome everybody. Let me first let Grimm to introduce himself, and then we're gonna explain about anime and why there is that big trigger warning on the screen. So yeah, feel free to introduce yourself.
I am Grimm Shadow. I am a Shadow Reaper from the Shadow Realm. I mostly stream video games, and I've been trying to branch out into other things, but it's mostly my friends drag me to other topics.
Yeah.
This is gonna be my first podcast, technically.
Oh, really? Wait, didn't you have something similar with...
It was something similar. I was pretty much just chatting.
With Phoenix, right? I think because Phoenix was talking to me about you having like a chatting stream or so it in a sense kind of podcast. Although here we have more like a single topic, but still.
Yeah, we were. I think we were just chatting at the time because it was my affiliate stream.
Oh yeah.
And we just ended up talking with some friends and bringing them in. And that's what spawned the idea for me to eventually make a collab.
Yeah. For me it was very funny because the main reason first I like voice acting and recently started it. It started with me just admiring people who voice act, and since my voice is so kind of hard to change. It's very bound to one sound in a sense. Unless you watch my stream for yesterday, where for some reason I sounded like my voice was like 2 octaves down for some reason. I wasn't tired, but I think I just couldn't speak on my normal voice. I sounded like this the whole time, and I was like, what the hell is that?
I think I noticed that.
Yeah,
when I was there for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was just like,
yeah, so thank you by the way for joining in chat. It's very nice to see people that I collab with showing chat and be hello, I'm here.
Yeah, so I wasn't able to stay long. Because
no.
by the time your streaming is around the time of my first break, which is only 15 minutes.
Oh my god. Don't worry, and my chat is also often like when they show up, some of my regular chatters show up and I'm like, I haven't been here in a while, or in Discord, I'm like, I'm not forcing you. If you have time, if you want, you join. The same thing I told them about the affiliated. Of course I want to become affiliated, but that doesn't mean that I want you to stay here just because of that. And if it's not interesting for you, like the particular stream, you're more than free not to watch. Because I know that some of the people that follow me literally joined with me because I played Plants vs Zombies before a lot, because it's one of the few non-visual novel games that can run on my PC. Then kind of stay. Yeah, I never played it. I am the situation where I live, things always come very, very late. Like anime, games, whatever, and I feel like I know the stuff, but most of the stuff I haven't done because you couldn't do anything here. Like I know about the OG Pokemon and everything, but I haven't seen anyone play it when I was the age when it was a thing starting. It just never became a thing here, and there's like small weeb gremlin sitting at the side, like anime.
Pretty much my entire childhood, because at least I know it's like more of a norm now to like anime, but back in the day,
yeah, it was.
I feel old saying that, but like back in, I know like early 2000s.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of people either didn't know or thought it was very nerdy.
Yeah, I actually. I get really not get, but was really annoyed like at my classmates and everything because like it was the whole you're the nerd and like what you're reading, what you're watching and whatnot, and then suddenly the cool kids in quotation marks started liking the said stuff. It was first anime and manga, then it was K-pop because I like Korean music, and everything started to be cool and like normal suddenly. But before that, some people literally were bullied because of this. And I was like, the hell is the logic? Jesus. Hi, Firestorm. Hi. Hello. Firestorm. The poor guy is waiting for Penny to join to have their reunion. They're like my OG regulars. And when Firestorm has many emotes and stuff, and Pedich is well known for liking specific emotes. It's like the reunion. Firestorm, can you come to give me the emote? That's emote. That's my chat. Oh god. Yeah. So
that emote that I just posted, put up, one of my...
Is that a fish?
It's a fish. There was a, one of my roommate's friends, was in chat, and they're just going on and on about fish, and he does amazing pixel art.
Oh, that's
so he's like, screw it, I'm just gonna make you a fish. You're like, okay.
We have several that I want to either commission or make myself. One is like broccoli, because for some reason my chat likes to spam me with broccoli, and feel very bad that when I'm doing my 2D model, the broccoli can't fall on my head because apparently it's not one of the emotes that can. Like if it's just normal emote that you have in your keyboard and stuff, it doesn't show and it doesn't fall on your head. If you use the Vtuber Studio function for the emotes, it has to be like specific streamer emote. And I want
like emotes or something like that.
Yeah, and I want to give them that, and can't wait for the time when they can basically destroy me with cans of coffee. I just can't. I don't want affiliate so much for the monetary value. Is more about I like my chat having fun, and I know that they like smashing me with stuff. What better thing to be smashed in the face with coffee? The only thing that I used to survive.
My chat loves to jump scare me.
I want to do that. I really wanted to do that when you did that collab with the person. I didn't know the guy, the purple guy. Sorry, I'm very bad with names. So you did, yeah. But I was like, it would be rude if I do it. So I kept I just watched and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Like, you guys can do it anytime. Other 3 points or bits. I had to do the bits because it was free before I was affiliate, and even sometime after. And
Yeah.
it was like every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes I would get jump scared. The problem is my ADD kicks in, so it's like I will get jump scared, be like, and then like not even like 10 seconds later I'll be focused on something else, and then just back to what was it, being not vulnerable but unaware.
Yeah, and then it scares you again because you're not prepared. Like you forget that they can scare you.
Yeah.
Something I was thinking is someday when I have properly working PC and I want to play horror games, like proper horror games, like Phasmo and stuff like that. I don't know if it's because I live with people, but I can't like when I get scared, I don't scream, I just jump. And obviously, it's not so visible in the model unless the model is one of the models that is really fluidly rigged, where it's absolutely copy paste of your movement, and mine sadly is not that. So like we would be funny, but they kind of understand because I swear a lot when I'm scared or when I'm pissed off. But it's different in English. My native language sounds so vulgar with the swear words. I absolutely hate that I sound so polite on my native because the swear words are absolutely like they're uncomfortably vulgar. I'm like, oh no, please no, eat. And because I basically live with English, and since I chronically online, so I sometimes think in English. I'm like, how to say the most normal thing in my language. I don't remember how. Okay, I knew that this is gonna happen. Me and Grimm, don't worry, we generally don't start talking about the series directly anyway, but I know that our situation is because we do that. When me and Grimm started talking to organize this collab, we figured out that we click quite a lot and basically spent it 2.5 hours babbling about everything that comes to our heads. Now like, oh no, that stream is gonna be cursed.
Yeah, like our goal was to watch an anime that he loves, and it's like we ended up talking and watching only one episode out of 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, it was so funny. No, it's good since I know that people actually like just chatting streams, which is why like my chat was. I like chatting with you. Can you make a general chatting stream? Next week we're having chatting stream. That I didn't think that it's gonna ever be possible because my chat is kind of quiet, or was at least before. You recently went it. Yeah, but let's talk. I'm gonna introduce the anime and why we have the trigger warning and everything, and then we can start. So the anime, generally, if you're used to to my series, you know that I give the person I'm gonna do the collab with the series, and they give me one. But since, as you see, me and Grimm talk about a million things at a second, I thought that it's gonna be better to have one series. And because I can't imagine us being able to first finish 2 series on time, because time management doesn't exist in my head, but also just because we talk a lot in general. The series is called Babylon. It's very dark in a sense that, as trigger warning says, the plot is basically revolving around suicide. So if you feel uncomfortable with the topic, feel free to not watch it if you're checking this on YouTube or just passing by. Not everyone is like me and can basically watch everything, no matter how messed up it is. So yeah, it's 12 episodes, so it's not that long. But yeah, I didn't think that we can finish finish the series on time, especially because we organized this kind of oddly. Like, so what gonna watch? We're gonna do something, but what we're gonna watch. But yeah.
It was like when you have two indecisive people in a collab, we're like, what should we talk about? I don't know.
I think my tendency is to be I am very indecisive, but that's why it took me so long to like I have several names that sat in my head as a name for me. Because behind zero is a name that I was using from a long time, and it has meaning. But I was like, wouldn't it be more YouTuber like to have actual name? But because I was so indecisive, I just was like, oh, no, I'm going to stay with what I'm used to.
Yeah, I was also thinking about, what should I name my character? The problem is, like, I've been online for so long, and for many different groups, it's like, they know me as Grimm.
Yeah.
It's like, I have been Grimm for... no. Technically 10 years. That's why.
Your situation is worse than mine, because I had several like for different periods of my life. I had several names. But this one was the most recent that I was using a lot, mainly because it came around the time when I came with the idea of the story that is technically my lore, because my lore came before me deciding to be VTuber at all. Like it is a story that I made while back because I like writing, but my brain works so fast that I can't technically write, so I have just plot points. And I made that story, and I was like, oh no, I know the name of the story, I know the story itself, but so I just stayed with that, and now I'm so used to people calling me Zero on so many platforms. I'm like, oh no, someday when I actually debut with actual model that is, personalized. Although I really love this one, I like this one a lot, but I just probably gonna just took the behind part and just Zero VTuber, as generic as it sounds, because I'm not gonna change the name. No. I'm gonna stay. My Discord, for the same reason, still doesn't have a name. I just can't decide what my chat doesn't have a name. I am urging them to give me normal name to call them, aside from calling them children, because that's something we came with out of nowhere, because I just feel like a parent.
That's, I guess, the first thing that came to my mind. Come, little children.
Yo, you know that! I love this one! I love how creepy this is.
Yes.
I love how creepy it is. I think I have it on Spotify in a playlist of I think it was stayed with the playlist for my story, my lore for some time, and then I moved it because I am VTuber who is fan of YouTubers, so I made playlist for one specific VTuber, and the playlist had that song because the vibe is kind of creepy. But yeah, I like it.
The song is creepy.
But then again, you're a Grimm.
So well.
I was thinking, why? For the second, I was surprised why you like the creepy stuff. You know what? Interested in the anime. And I was like, his name is Grimm, for the love of God, think.
Yeah. I was like, I am Grimm Shadow. What do you think I'm into? But yeah, no, it's like I like dark stuff. I like for anime, I tend to go with more like shonen and joyful stuff. I do like the dark stuff every now and then. Mainly because I get emotionally attached to some of these characters.
It's interesting.
So,
it's interesting because I'm the same with series, but I think because I really like psychological themes a lot, and it kind of works separately. Like for some type of series, like Babylon, also Shiki is one of my favorite horror series, which it puts one bajillion moral and psychological and existential questions. Like I feel bad for the characters that die or whatever is happening to them, because sometimes they just go insane for different reasons. But it's not like when you watch shonen or something. Like I was bawling my eyes when I watched Hunter x Hunter. Like, why it's ending? No.
Well, I need to still watch that anime. To be fair, I've seen clips.
It's very good. I love it.
I love how he's just like. It's very good.
It's because I'm drinking energy drink. My voice is disappearing, and we just started and haven't talked about anime still. Kill us. Okay. So I think the way I think it could work is first we give our like first impressions of episode 1, and then we can jump around the characters and situations if you want. I think that's gonna, because I don't think that we can stick to the way I wanted from episode to episode, but at least to give our first impressions of episode 1. Because when I first watched it, I was like, okay, that ended in this way. Okay, I didn't expect somebody to end up hung up in the end of first episode. Nice.
Yeah, no. So the first episode, it like the synopsis of it got my curiosity pretty much. It's like, ooh, this looks like when you sent it to me, I was like, this looks like an interesting anime. Because what I also like is I kind of like mysteries. Because I don't know, it get what ends up happening is I end up just like thinking about why, like the motive and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I have a bad habit. Yeah, theory crafting, and I have a bad habit of, this happens in real life too to other people. I tend to put myself in their shoes. So it's I tend to like if we're going by energy wise, I can like feel the energy of the people and anime as well. So
I overly analyze, like I tend to be the person who doesn't like to go to extremes, so I try to understand the motives of everybody, good or in quotation bad, and that's why as I told you on VC, I get so pissed off when people are very like you know, very one side and the other side in the comment section, so especially when the series is like this with very touchy topics.
Yeah, touchy topics, and like full disclosure, I don't like suicide. Like it, like as a plot, it's okay, but in like I just don't like suicide, mainly because I tend to not like what is the word I'm looking for? I don't like death. That in real life I don't like death, period. Because it's to me suicide is not more of like, you know, just the fact of ending your life. It's the fact that nobody was there to help them.
Yeah,
nobody was there to help the guy.
Yeah, when the whole topic with the series, when the people were talking about like whatever is like wrong to do it, I'm like, it's not wrong. The thing is, you didn't help. You know, the victim blaming for that is one of my pet peeves. Like, it grinds my gears so much.
Yeah. So, anyways, the first episode.
Yeah. What do you think? First you, then I, since you're the guest.
So yeah, it's like I tend to like mysteries a lot, so it's just like case, see how like this goes, and it's like ooh, now we're getting really when they were bringing out like the different evidence for the prescription company, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the prescription company.
And it's like to a nice little murder mystery sort of thing, and then and then when the final moment hit, that where this seemingly
Cheerful.
happy guy, joyful guy who's like ready for their future, all of a sudden to be hanging from his bedroom is like, now you have my attention. Why?
It was actually her bedroom, I think. I don't think it was his apartment. I think it's the apartment of the politician or the woman, one of the two, but I'm not sure.
Let me make sure. Because I thought it was his apartment.
But he was following the woman, met her for 15 minutes and then hung himself. That was the whole why the hell that happened. Because he had the shortest time with her till we reached the middle of the series and realized what she can do actually, how long it takes her to do it. I almost spat my energy drink on my keyboard.
You remember the terrible names? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
The name.
I'm terrible with names too. Welcome. The thing that is similar.
Oh, here we go. I think it's
Fumio is the name of the young guy.
Yeah. Oh, why is there no?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that it was her room because he went after her since he saw her with the politician and went to ask her and arrest her so they can interrogate her, since they thought that she's like the other party is paying her to go with the politicians and kind of sway them to let off the voting for the king. And talked with her for 15 minutes and then she disappeared and he just hanged himself. I'm pretty sure.
The one problem I have with that is I think that would have made because then they talk afterwards in the next episode about how many people are in that apartment, because they were talking about seeing multiple people go in and out of that apartment later on, and I feel like if it did happen, if he did hang himself in her apartment, then it would have been, then I think she would have been, primary suspect.
Yeah, but but the thing is that we know that Magasea is changing her face. Like she's literally can be any woman. So that was the whole point. They didn't know at that point that it's actually the same woman still.
Yeah, I think just like the visuals of the one pair of shoes versus multiple pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
But they would have just been able to find out if they were in that apartment.
Yeah, but yeah, I just didn't expect it. I really liked it. How it was paced. I mean, sorry, I'm forgetting how to speak. Despite it being so early in the series, it didn't feel, at least for me, rushed that they did that to him, because it's a commonly used trope to kill off the cheerful assistant of a stoic main character when it comes to mystery and stuff like that. So I expected it, just didn't expect to happen so soon. I expected to happen episode 3 and not the end of episode 1.
Oh yeah, no, it's like that when that happened, it's like, oh. And I was just thinking, he like that character kind of reminds me of myself at times, feel cheerful and all that stuff. Like, oh. Oh no.
Yeah, don't put yourself in his shoes, because yeah.
And the other person, this comes to later on, but the other person that
the other detective
kind of vibe with was Gujin.
Yeah, the other detective. His scene was so like. Have you watched Fullmetal Alchemist? Okay, because of the comment, so I don't say something like that can spoil it. That's why I ask. And for people, in case you haven't watched it, mute just for a bit, like for 5 seconds. But many people in the comment section where I watched it were like, "That's as gruesome as Nina and Alexander." Because
Although, yeah, that was so bad.
the
It's
fact,
like,
I think it was executed very well. Like the whole thing with, since he's so Kujin is so, I'm going to do my work, but I'm not going to go like too far. He's laid back and everything, and even he was like the fact that he had the strength to shoot himself in the leg instead of in the head, just to go to, like, he did it worse in attempt to do it better.
yeah, it's like,
He didn't want. He wanted to go to what was the name of the police guy? Me and you without Zen. He wanted to go to Zen and to tell him, don't do it, like run from her and everything. But ended up causing him even more trauma because ended up shooting himself in front of Zen. It was like,
yeah.
and it's kind of fun is not the right word, but I found it funny how the whole time that guy lived through hell and no one gave him like any mental health consultation. I was like, dude, so many people die. Please get him therapy, please.
I know, right? And I don't know if it's like a Japan thing or not, but
sorry, I kind of predicted maybe what you're gonna say and try to reply to that often. Sorry, I hate doing that. But if you was gonna say that Japan with the mental health, yeah, I think out of everything that is criminally, hello Miney, hello, criminal and stuff like that, they're the worst when it comes to mental health because they basically erase people of the system. Like, if you have mental health problems, you're just invisible for them. And since many people with mental health problems can't work as much or at all, and Japan is very based on your worth is equal to how much you can work, basically you're trash. So that's why it pretty much reflects in the anime, because even the debate with the politicians didn't have, it has economic standpoint, it had like human standpoint, like for the emotions, it had every standpoint when they were debating the young guy, but didn't have mental health standpoint. It's basically, yeah, Japan sucks about that.
yeah, it's unfortunate because especially and it's different country by country because I know we live in separate countries, so it's probably a little different. More I don't know about morale, but like more societal.
How much importance different countries put on this. If, for example, of course, I try to keep hidden where I am is other than I'm Europe, but I think it kind of goes most of the places in Europe. It's either people are highly aware of that and try to care for people a lot who have these problems, or they're just, you're invisible and you have to like dig holes into the ground to find like the small piece of like gold, which is like therapy. My country is that, so yeah, we're closer to Japan. But it was kind of gruesome joke the whole time in my head was like, why is no one getting him therapy, please? Especially after Kujin, because like one is to see them being killed like at some point and you see them, that other is to see it in front of your eyes, like, please help you.
However, we should also jump back to like episode 2 just before we continue on. So chat has some context of it.
Yeah. I think did they introduce Magasai directly second episode, because I'm not sure. I think yes, because the plot kinda ran very fast the first 3 to 6 episodes, and then mellowed down because it became less action and more narrative based. But
I think the first like 3 episodes, it was more of like getting the information, getting all that stuff, and then once we had that information, it was more of the psychological.
Yeah, I
psychological chess that they were doing.
I didn't expect at all. Like, it was clear since the anime is more in quotations mature, more is vaguely said considering how dark it is. But I didn't expect the whole politician thing to happen, and like everybody were working to make that one guy the representative of that hidden society project to test walls in that like city in the city, kinda.
Yeah.
Which is not bad, but end up being so bad.
Yeah, it's like the problem is like with animes like when they end up having like this whole entire topic of this anime is what is good and what is evil.
Yeah.
And the problem is like we as human society are always teetering in gray.
Yeah.
And like some people will go like heavily into this is good, but
Hello, Pedich.
It's like not unless you look at it from the other side. That's my issue. It's like I tend to try to get into the other person's perspective way too much.
I do that too. And again, that's why I got so I get so annoyed when people like are very like people don't like for it's very throwing to the end, but people don't like things that are meant for them to think after because they want someone to give them answers. And 99% of the cases, series like Babylon that put so like taboo almost existential and moral questions are there not to give you answer but to make you think about the answer. And so people get very pressed at the end. I'm like, no. But yeah, I think the idea of the politicians to make place where they can experiment, although it was clear that it's gonna crash, even if the whole thing with Magasai wasn't a thing and the series was more grounded to reality, because Magasai is kinda supernatural element, kinda. Even without that, it was gonna end up bad, because if somebody out of whack end up in the leading position, which kinda happened, they can't stop them, especially if they go by the wall. Because I was like, wait, it's technically everything is correct. They can't even judge him or go to like get him. It's just like, hello.
Yeah, and like with the politicians, and I'm going to like do a little funny haha thing, and it might offend someone. The first thought I had when I saw the bigger politician.
Yeah, everybody thought that.
Everyone was like, he looks like a certain former president of the United States.
Yeah, but it's way better when you go up in the series and realize how he sees things, because he seemed like a jerk at the beginning, but technically wasn't. Like the ideas that they had weren't as evil as they seemed at the beginning, because at the beginning it just seemed like conspiracy.
Yeah, the typical politician.
Yeah, and also at the beginning we didn't know that they're kind of separate from Magasai. But guys, thank you for joining. Feel free to chat or answer the question of the day. Sorry that I can't reply to you directly since we're chatting with Grimm. I try to chat with Grimm, you know?
Yeah. But we tend to get so invested in chatting that we're just like, oh right, they have to entertain people as well.
No, I genuinely think, and it's not only me, I think in general people when they collab, most of the time you try to pay attention to the person you collab with, since you yet from their time, you know.
Yeah.
But
It's just like,
it's just that for us, it's clear that we enjoy it way too much.
yeah. By the way, so yeah, how we were talking about for Asage?
What's that? I'm bad with names.
It is Magase.
Oh, Magasai. Yeah.
Yeah, I Magase.
The fact that her name, the fact that her name is I.
I know. Ironic, isn't it?
By the way, speaking of her, the first time we clearly see her, they did an amazing job, in my opinion, to make you feel uncomfortable for no reason. Like,
Oh yeah, no.
like there is a reason, but it's the whole point of her is that technically it doesn't sound that like she's saying something wrong, but something feels so wrong in like fundamental level when you talk with her.
Oh yeah, no. Like the first time I saw her, I'm like, something's wrong with her, and then that twitch happened. I'm like, oh, something's definitely wrong with her.
The way she twists the words, and it's not wrong with what she says, but at the same time, it's literally the way that the psychiatrician that shot himself away. By the way, props to that guy. That guy is a good person. He was like, oh no, I crossed the line even in my head. Nope, I'm not gonna practice my job ever again.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's the way she went under the skin of Zen just by looking him and asking him like questions that prompted him to get mad.
And how much do you know about cats? It might seem like completely off topic, but how much do you know about cats?
I mean, I have a cat.
Have you ever done the blink method to try to connect with your cat?
Nope.
So there's a show called My Cat from Hell.
Oh.
And he does this method to try to connect and calm the cat, and it's just like slowly like blink with your cat until the cat blinks as well. So when they're like blinking synchronizing, or not synchronizing, but like she would blink and then he would blink the same way, that's when I was like, oh no, she's getting inside his head.
Oh no. I didn't know that. That's interesting. I never even knew about something like that existing. Wait, I just saw my chat is going insane. I love you guys. You. That's why I call you children. I just need to. They call me grandpa nowadays, which is interesting. I went from the daddy word to liege to grandpa. I'm getting older since I am, the 200 years. So they are going the right direction.
You would back both, because apparently the running joke in her chat, it's her being called grandma.
Oh no! But
at least like a grandma is like, it's just like, what?
Beck is the loudest grandma in the world, and wow.
Well, it is just because of how knowledgeable she actually is of internet culture.
Yeah.
Out of the group, as you said, like, I think we are the oldest.
Yeah. We're the oldest. But I kinda lived under the internet rock because of where I'm from, so I kinda sound way younger than I am. But then I tell people that I had seen the OG big computers that are like, the OGs.
Like the room size ones.
Not the room size, but the cream color ones. Cream color.
Oh, the original Macs.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
There is still one in the countryside where I come from. There is like my grandma's place. There is still one sitting there that actually can work. Oh yeah, I the ouch. But yes, tangent again as always. Um, but yeah, I didn't know the thing with the cats, and it's so cool that they used something that actually exists as like idea. Mm, and
Yeah.
I think Magasa is very good at probing people, especially him, because we had seen what she does to him, and he's the only one that she did the whole thing prolonged instead of it being like he's dead. I assume he shot himself, giving the ending, but it was prolonged. Like she was using him as a rat lab experiment to see what will gonna happen if hyper righteous person, like somebody who is he has so strong beliefs. Yeah, if she tries to break him, basically, because everything that she did, in my opinion at least, was to see him break, and she kind of did break him technically.
Yeah. And on the subject of should we jump to the end or in like theory, or should we just wait?
Oh yeah, maybe. I mean, we jump back and forth, but maybe it's good to like kind of talk about, for example, more about Kujin and the reporter guy, then the woman that was put after Fumio, like the woman that Magase ended up chopping up in front of Zen. Which, by the way, what the fuck was that?
I was so pissed.
I'm glad that you can make loud noises and not be shut like me.
Yeah, no, it's like, well, it's like I am the owner of, well, I am the major person on my lease, so and it's midday for me, so
yeah. But let's for example, like, I think that maybe we have to talk about episode 3, since the second major thing after Fumio being hanged, I think, is what happened at episode 3. Because the conspiracy with the politicians wasn't that surprising, but I didn't expect everybody, including the police, to be connected. Like, when I realized that Zen's boss practically knew about it, I was like, ah? But then it makes sense, because you need police if you're gonna make experiment like that. Somebody has to be able to stop it in case something goes wrong. Although I doubt that anybody expected that particular thing to go wrong.
I don't think anyone in that group was expecting that, and and I don't know if those two are connected somehow. Magasa and I keep having to go back to the name because
the young politician, Itsuki. Yeah. I think the whole time I thought that they're connected, but at the end of the series, I came to my conclusion that they probably have separated. It just so happened that he's the way he is, and like what she did helped him, but I don't think that he knew that it's kind of forced.
Unless somehow, and this is just like a theory that's out there. It's like, unless somehow she did that maneuver that she did that ability on him and kind of
prolonged like it was with Zen, because yeah, it can be true, but then again I think that his motivation was the most grounded and done. Hello, thank you for joining. Hi. It was the most grounded, because his reasoning when they revealed that it was his kid, like, and the kid was technically dying, so what he said wasn't that because he wasn't talking even about suicide. It was organ transplant, although very,
like, here, let me take my own life so you can live with what I have, pretty much. But yeah, there's like suicide laws against that, because I think
it is, because it's not like he was thinking very drastically about the case, but you could understand if parent has a kid with that situation. It wasn't. It sounds like it can't be motivated by itself without somebody forcibly motivating it to happen. Like the and he just in my head the things is like he met her and all the people that she collected, and in his head it was like, oh, I'm not alone, there are so many people that want to do that for this and this reason. But maybe it's combination of both. I won't be surprised.
Like the problem with Magasa, as soon as we found out that it was all one person, even like I trusted no one. After that I'm like, I don't trust any female character at any point whatsoever.
I was thinking the young assistant to be Magase for so long, and what my prediction was when they first introduced her was that that's who she actually is, and the rest is kind of her sick experiment, and her helping him was like close look at who he is. But then we realized it wasn't her, and I was like, oh my god, but she was so cool.
No, it's like that. That was also another thing. It's like, I also thought, it's like, your eye, you're Magasa.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so it's like, I was like going back and forth. It's like, and then once they were in like separate areas, I'm like, okay, so it's not her, but it's like I still was suspicious of her because like, are they connected?
I was suspicious till the time that he announced in front of everybody. By the way, I literally like exclamated out loud, like, but no fucking way he said that in front of everybody when he said that he's gonna kidnap them. I was like, okay. Zane is kind of interesting character in the sense that he's very righteous, but since the beginning he had small doors in his logic open in case something happened, because even though he's presented as so by the law, by the book, have good, grades, be good person, he has wife and everything, everything is prim and proper. But at the same time, he was using, from the start, he was using that door of friendship with the newspaper guy, which if Zen was fully, white character in the sense of not doing anything that is not by the law, he wouldn't do that. And then it started with the more she enraged him, the more he was willing to do stuff that are out of the wall. And I don't know, I found the whole scene with him proclaiming, I'm gonna kidnap that guy, if you want you can arrest me. I was like, okay.
Bold move, man, bold move.
And the fact that she was, can you stop using my last name, that's awkward, and she was the one who refused when he asked her to not do that. Before it was very, I don't know, I like their dynamic. I didn't expect that to happen to her.
Yeah, it's like, so what I don't like about some animes is like they build up a character to kill them off for no plot line reason or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest gripes about some anime. You overlord.
I haven't seen more from only first season. I like Overlord, but I don't know what happened after first season.
I think it's like season 3, so I won't say more about that.
Anime that does that, that's well-known people to people would have ended up liking it way more if what you don't like is the lack of plot armor, because there is either too much plot armor or too little in series. And for example, Akame ga Kill, I don't know if you had seen it. Akame ga Kill basically loses most of the main cast at like time, and people die very fast. Like dropping like flies is the most accurate way to explain it. So, so yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and it's like the quick deaths aren't too much of an issue as we saw with Fumio. Like Fumio was sudden and fast, but it's like, oh, this is at least this was a like good.
Fumio
good
died so
plot.
Zen can start like his journey in a sense, because Fumio was the closest to him at that time, aside from his family.
Yeah, it's like at least plot-wise, it helped move the story along.
Yeah.
When some anime like build up a character or even like get us purposely emotionally attached just to kill them off or seemingly no plot reason, just for the sake of killing.
Yeah, to make a sad moment that doesn't affect the plot in any way.
Killing for killing's sake, it's just like, now you just lost me.
that sounded so finite.
It's like you just lost. The problem is like it triggers something in me towards like I still have a hard time going back to Overlord because of the one scene, but I don't know, it just like kills the mood of that anime for me, and it's like, oh, so you're really gonna take that trope just for a sad moment.
Depending on the case, it can be like even in series that are meant to be gory, it sometimes is like over the top, like too many people in a sense die. But for example, most of the horror / mystery, supernatural kind of series in anime series that I had seen work almost always well, because although they often have gore and like people dropping like flies often, but the main thing that makes you comfortable is what basically Babylon is doing, which is psychological level rather than like, because even if Magatai didn't do that to the policewoman, I would still be freaked out of her. Like she was uncomfortable. Like, whatever the hell the characters were supposed to feel that triggered them so much, they did their best to try to portray it to us as a viewers too.
And especially with those psychedelic colors, if you notice it, it's like every time they mention that, there would be like this one. It's almost like a drug, like euphoria. Euphoric, and they just need more of it.
By the way,
it helps you connect with it.
Did you notice what they did with the scene where she chopped off the policewoman's head? I'm laughing because when I was like, okay, with all the sexual imagery that you're putting, that was funny in a sense.
I'm not sure because I was also seething with rage. When
Magase chopped her head and you blinked to black screen and then to image of splatter. The splatter is on red screen.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah.
Okay, we're doing this. I mean, how to make it gory without making it gory.
And how to include the fact that everybody connect her to being hypersexual, because she always described the whole time as somebody who is in tights and then like a witch kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I like cinematography a lot, and like all nitty-gritty small details of like angles and whatnot, and stuff like this. Like it partly made me smack my head because I was like, oh, okay, you're doing that, okay, innuendo in a very weird time, in the very right time at the same thing. It was so bizarre.
They had fun with that. They had fun animating that. I could tell.
Yeah.
And
But the whole series, like anime, is obviously cinematic. Like obviously, after all, it's almost as if depending on the plot. Sometimes is like I mentioned to you, Monster is absolutely grounded to reality. So it's essentially looking at drama just drawn instead of with people. But some anime like Babylon. That's why I assume that the author or at least the director, because the director of the visuals are different than the person who wrote the story, but is probably a big fan of movies because everything looks like it's shot for a movie, not for an anime.
yeah,
Especially the interrogation scene, and every time there was something more in the head of the character. It was very cinematic.
yeah, and I applaud the like subtle ticks and little hints that we're going through, because as the even just like the eyes and the mouth, how they look, made it seem like that she wasn't all there when we first see her, and then that like little twitch happened, and all of a sudden it makes sense. Like she's definitely not right in the head.
And also,
and then
we were talking about the third episode, and when you said details, I remembered how the second time I was watching it, yesterday for our collab, was when I actually noticed that her eyes changed. Like I didn't notice it the first time.
Because I noticed that even the once we like saw her more into the series, it's like, wait, she didn't have purple eyes or that purple hair. So it's like I looked when we were doing the flashback, I'm like, so that wasn't even her final form.
Yeah, she was she's very good at disguising. Also the fact that like she just ran and like grabbed all the 64 people, and just all of them jumped.
Yeah, no, that scene, it was both terrifying and funny at the same time.
The way they
for
jumped.
me, it's like the way they jumped. It made it seem like they're about to do an anime intro for some supernatural anime.
Exactly. That was when I actually fall in love with the OST, and I tried to find it on Spotify because I really liked that OST that they used for that particular scene and then reused several times. It just fits so well because it's so kind of unnerving, but also calm if you listen to the whole thing. Not only the part that is used for the anime series. But yeah, I had the same thought when especially the guy that was looking up, like he jumped and kind of flipped himself to the camera, and it was with the biggest grin on his face, and I was like,
that was like, I don't. By the way, for anyone watching, this is not me making light of any situations. This is just like the context, just like out of context. If you just saw this scene, just like a picture of it, you would think it was something completely different and not even related to the topic at hand.
It's the same. Like even like if I laugh at something else, it's not the topic itself or that the people actually do that area. It's just this. That particular scene, it was like, okay, yeah, nice.
It almost seemed like they were about to just like start, like do a scene transition and then like start singing like something like as something as like high energy like assassination classrooms opening.
Oh my god, I'm thinking way too much about games because I know Assassination Classroom, I can see it first season, I know how second ends, that's why I'm not watching second season, because I didn't want that ending. But because I like Nagisa to be the way Nagisa, the talent Nagisa has. Not to spoil the ending. I understand why it ends. Then it ends. It should end like that way. I just don't like it. Like it's my personal pet peeve.
I've yet to finish it, so
Yeah.
I'll have to see when I get to
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah, it was
I
very.
find it funny how we're like Nagisa versus Nagase. It's like wait,
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. But
wait a minute.
things go very things go very fast after that for the next 3 episodes after episode 3 where and what I liked is that they made very realistic approach on the fact that people were very much against it at first.
Yeah, like what was it? Like 3% were with it, and like
And
I want to say like 94 was. Oh no, it was like 90. 87 was against it, and like 9% was neutral.
yeah, I think it was that's what I was thinking. I think 9% was neutral, 3% was for it, and the rest were against. That was the initial reaction after the introduction of the WoW.
The suicide law.
Yeah. And it was actually from there you also start to realize that the politicians that were trying to do all the things with that city weren't technically bad, because you realize that they are separated from was Itsuki the name of the young guy, right?
Itsuki, yeah.
Yeah, from Itsuki. Because the whole they put him in that position, but no one knew what he was trying to do.
Yeah, it was more like he pulled out his trap card as soon as he was able to have that power. It's like,
yeah.
by the way, this is my hand. Have fun.
Yeah, it was I liked that because it was very easy to connect all of them and make it so everybody's bad. Bad in quotation marks, because in this series the whole series is about what's good and what's bad.
It's like good and evil, yeah.
Yeah.
What's good and what's evil. It's like
But,
as I say before, it's like human race is in a gray area, no matter what.
And I think that's why most of the time when people like anime or any sort of medium characters, no matter if they are played by actual people or not, most of the time people connect the most and relate the most to people that are not perfect, and at least to some extent they have something wrong with them, even if it's just the fact that they are, for example, very shy or anxious, the super basic level. And often you hear people kind of complain about perfect characters in anime because it's harder to connect to somebody who is perfect.
Yeah, they do that way too often, and even in one of my favorite series is like, and I'm probably gonna get a bunch of hate for this, but the sequel of Star Wars. It's like those 3 episodes following Rey was just.
I can. If you're gonna be hated for that, I'm gonna be hated for the fact that I never actually watched full Star Wars episode of series or of movie of anything. And one of these people, like, it took me ages to watch Lord of the Rings, and now I'm obsessed with it. And you even have a book about the design of the scenes, like the way the people designed the things so they can create the world, because it was actually designed like physically existing place. So I have a giant book that basically robbed my pocket money at the time to get it, because that thing was very expensive for me.
I think I still have my map of Morrowind from. From the game. It's like I have a full-on map somewhere.
The nerd in me is dying. Currently, we're talking about anime and about Lord of the Rings, and I am old. But I still want to talk about it. Yay! For a second, you scared me. I was like, what the hell? I'm hearing. It sounds. Oh my god, that you know how. And he says I can't voice. My god, I'm gonna eat you through the windows.
Well, the problem is like I hate my own voice. And what growing up, that's how I was like I can voice act. I just haven't done much of it.
Yeah,
I want to do more of it, but I just
doing,
hate my own voice.
You're doing great. The thing is that you send it to me. But yeah, like after the whole thing, and we realized something that I really like is that they made us like as a viewer and also Zen and his people to work with people that they don't agree with. I for some reason really enjoy the trope where you know what happened is in Fullmetal Alchemy, like when most of the cast were late at the table and our guys had to work basically with Bradley and the rest for at least to make it
A little bit.
look like that for some time. I really like stuff like this. I don't know, maybe because it's even more complicated version of cat and mouse thing. Like Death Note does that too with AO and Light having to basically investigate Light himself while he doesn't remember himself.
Oh yeah, that was a trip, especially. And I think Death Note was actually my first art anime, so.
Yeah, I'm recently rewatching it in English because as I was saying at the beginning of our collab, like I listened to story-based ASMR, like literally made up stories, fantasy, sci-fi, horror, different like that. From there I liked voice acting, and then I started checking some series that I watched before that I know that people say that are with good voice acting. For example, I'm at episode 30 I think of FMA Brotherhood in English. And I was like, ooh, they sound nice.
Yeah, like it's like so I can watch it in Japanese, but when you first get used to something, it's hard to
it took me
to change.
It took me a long time to stop being. I never was hater of dub. I just didn't like dub myself, and the only thing that I was seeing myself watching in dub and never in sub was Dragon Ball, because that fucking screeches. Nope. Absolutely. I mean it's the character and everything, but I just can't know. And I still prefer to watch the things first in sub because I prefer Japanese, and often, like for example Attack on Titan, the emotions are kind of a bit different in English. The voice acting is incredible, just the feeling of the emotions is a bit different
In Japanese, yeah.
No,
that's one of the few series.
No,
English.
in English, like especially the screaming and everything is obviously based on the plot. People scream a lot, but like Eren ended up sounding from enraged and like full of spite and like anger to the world to like kind of Goku. Like not that extreme, of course, but you know. So I prefer the Japanese, but yeah.
Actually, throughout the entire first, this is about the anime. So throughout the entire like first 6 episodes, I thought it wasn't anything supernatural. I thought it was something to do with the medicine that they were making.
Yeah, because at that time we didn't know that it's actually. Oh, technically we knew the newspaper guy. Was he? No, it was some of the Zen colleagues, I think. Somebody told Zen that the drug is like hyper strong sleeping pill that basically gonna knock you out forever.
I think it was the other detective.
Oh yeah, maybe it's Kujin, maybe. I don't remember that detail. Um, but yeah, I, I don't know if I expected to be supernatural. I thought that she's really good at the like going under the skin of people, like on psychological level, but didn't know if it's at supernatural level or just she's so good at like making people like
Feel.
feel in a sense like lead to because everybody has something to be sad about. The point is like they're not sad about that constantly, and in my eyes was like she's able to kind of pull that particular thing that they could go to the extremes about it, and kind of make them feel it's way worse than it is. I don't know if that makes sense, but I expected to be something like that.
Yeah, not something like a drug where it's like even just one word in your ear from her, and you are like pretty much on like cloud nine, trying to keep yourself together but unable to.
Yeah, and also interesting that like if we exclude Itsuki since we can't confirm fully if she had anything to do with him, and like directly, like she helped, of course, with everything else. But if she was the reason that he went with that to begin with, but for Zen, we assume that he shot himself at the end. She also could like decide how long the thing to take, because unless another like idea of mine was that the only thing that was holding him sane was to see her and get his answer to the question that she posed, because he was literally letting her send him letters and stuff after the whole massacre thing happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. Because it's either the other possible idea is that it might not have been him shooting himself. It also could have been a conservative party, because it is the White House. They are at the White House, and he's pointing a gun at another innocent. So it's possible that
they shot him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible, but again,
but given the series,
yeah, given the series, it's open to interpretation based on
how you see,
how you feel about the anime.
Yeah, but I knew, like, that's jumping to the last episode, but I knew that he's like when the president was like so sorry for like and they gave for everything, and they gave flashback to him saying that his gun is only to do good, and I was like, yeah, he's gonna make him do, in quotations, bad, which is gonna be good in the situation, which is to shoot him, because the effect of a criminal shooting the president is one thing compared to the president basically publicly announcing that he agrees with the law by jumping from the White House. Like, he knew that it shouldn't happen, so he basically begged Zen to be shot, which was like,
and it's like I was thinking, it's like, is he gonna shoot him in the shoulder to kind of knock him out of it, or like, nope, full on chest?
Yeah, and I was thinking that if he shoot him in area that is not fatal, he can jump off he can't fall off the edge. That's why my brain was like, he's gonna shoot him just to kill him. Although, yeah, obviously he still would have been shot and not jumping, but I don't know, I thought that it's gonna be fine now, especially considering how unstable both of them were. Like, Zen was so unstable. I'm wondering who was actually taking care of his family, because everybody that were close to him, at least of the people we knew. Oh wait, I know who is. Is the newspaper guy? Yeah, I am.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're like the one friend that survived, and the one friend that was like, "You better stay alive, god damn it."
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah. On the topic of the president, my god, I loved the president.
Right? He's actually very like the way they introduced him. I really like when series make kind of swapped introduction. I recently because of the like I'm rewatching FMA, but I'm watching the reaction of it. So somebody pointed out how you first get to know the characters before you know what horrible things they did, referring to basically Roy Mustang and everybody that are kind of good squad, but also made the whole Ishval thing. And here in Babylon they did the same, but like introduced first the character and then the important thing about them, and first you feel for them like a human. My guy is playing RPG and found his wife online.
Yeah. Also, the dude is a freaking giga chad for like how does
Yeah.
I agree with him saying he's like, I don't know how I ended up with, or like, how did I end up with someone like this? Pretty
Yeah,
much.
I really liked that. I don't know now that I think of it, because when he's older, he's taller than her. But when they met, the scene with the date, she was taller. I don't know if she was wearing heels, but I liked that you rarely see any sort of representation in anime of characters where the guy is shorter, which I don't know why people do that. It's not like a wall that the guy should be taller, but I found it cute. I found it cute. Like she basically slandered him for having self-doubt.
Yeah, that was freaking amazing. Just a bam.
Yeah, and
It's like,
okay. And the kiss scene and the whole joke with the toilet. I'm thinking on like every single stream idea.
yeah, no. Yeah, on the toilet or in the shower. That's why I ended up taking long showers, just because it's like I tend to space out and just come up with like good ideas. The problem I have is like my brain continues to work, so and then that idea just goes bye bye.
Yeah, this is why what I meant when I told you that I like writing, but I can't write because I have ideas of major plot points, but the thing that's gonna fill the gaps between the plot points is flies so fast in my head that I can't, I don't have time to put it somewhere to keep it. It just flies away. So I have just my major plot points that change a bit every time. Like the gap between them changes a bit every time because I forget it every time. So yeah, I really liked him. And then you see that he's the president, and you're like, oh my god.
Oh my! Like I knew he was kind of like well off because of the room, actually the bathroom. How grand the bathroom was.
And also his son was, they were getting
like
his son
getting
very.
freaking shoes.
Yeah, the shoes that looked like kinda attempt to not brand Nike.
Nike kicks.
Yeah, and it's good that his son didn't inherit whatever the heck was happening with the guy when he was a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't expect that, and he's so likable goof. Like I saw many people hating on him for thinking slow, but that was his thing. Like
That was, yeah. How I put it is like, while everyone was just playing normal chess, he was playing fucking 3D chess.
He was trying genuinely to understand it, like a bit like how me and you try to see both sides, and so it's not. I don't know. I didn't get annoyed with him as much at all actually, and I saw that many people did, which surprised me. But I really like, especially because the people around him also didn't think that he's slow. Like you would expect in situations like that, serious like this, like the people around the person who has to make big decision to pressure them, but they didn't, which
shows that he, even even though he takes a while, he comes to the right conclusion, or
Yeah.
at least comes to decent conclusions.
Yeah, people were trusting in the fact that him being so slow is not negative. And I liked that, especially also something that I really liked is that people didn't like the basic police didn't believe Zen. It's not like didn't believe, but they thought that he's so traumatized. But what he saw that he made up Magazai in a sense. Everything aside from the chopping off, like the rest.
Yeah.
Because obviously the chopping off is like on camera. She can't escape that. She made it so she can't escape. Like she wanted him to see it, so she can't break him as much as possible.
Yeah. Trust me. Like after that scene, I turned to my roommate. I'm like, "Bring me my scythe. I have a bitch to hunt."
I think because majority of the series I watch are dark. It's not that I'm desensitized. It's just that how to explain it? Like I like to hyperanalyze the villains in quotation marks in this series. So it was like, oh my goodness, oh okay, that's happening when she started doing that. Like I thought that she's not gonna do it in front of him, but like show him that she's preparing. I didn't expect she just to make it as visible as possible to him what's happening.
Yeah, and also, I have worked around axes. I am a Boy Scout. Still, I forget once you hit Eagle Scout. There's no, no matter how long it's been, you are still a Boy Scout if you hit Eagle.
Oh.
But anyways, I digress. I've worked with axes. I've had to chop wood and all that stuff. It is not easy to do that, and like they made it clean in the anime, but in reality, I was like, that
Yeah.
sort of pseudo blunt blade.
Yeah. Basically, I like to listen to like I haven't done that in a while. Maybe the time when I started streaming, because most of my free time is like time that I don't use to for watching other streamers or watching random stuff. The other free timing is for my streams. But before I was watching a lot of crime, like listening more like crime documentations, like real crime stuff. And I also had used access before because where I lived for a long time, like in the countryside, again, wood chopping and stuff. It was like, no, which means that he heard so many screams.
Well, I mean, like, even though it's kind of like dulled out, I heard a bit of like agony noises from her until the third, after the third one.
Pain generally tends to kind of knock you out when it's too much, like you just pass out, which better for her, Jesus. But that was
Sadly.
horrible. And they didn't believe him, like fully, like partially believed that happened. At least they believed that, like, at least they didn't do a weird trope, like that weird trope where they somehow think that he's to blame. Because I would have been so pissed off if that happened. But then But then FBI fully believed him, which is something I liked. Like as much as supernatural and crazy it sounded that woman changes faces and just goes around and talks to people that decide to end their life, they believed him, which was nice. In mystery shows, always, not always, but often they use the fact that the authority don't believe the main character, no matter he is, a lot to create the conflict. And I like that they didn't use that. They just plopped the guy in front of the president, or like, yeah, that specific Japanese guy actually saw all of that. Hello, thank you for joining. Hello.
So I know how I was suspicious of like the young assistant.
Yeah.
But then when Magasa actually appeared as the son's mother
Oh yeah.
on stage, as soon as I saw, I'm like, no,
I didn't recognize.
get off stage.
I didn't realize it because, like, you know, the father would have recognized her, right? Like, what?
Yeah,
I thought that's why I didn't question it because obviously you're gonna recognize your, I assume, like, wife or at least ex-wife, whatever the hell was happening with his family. Like, that I did.
Yeah. I don't know. It was less about recognition, more of like a gut feeling. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah, but I was surprised. Like, I expected, like, we knew that he's okay with the idea. I thought that he's gonna probably want to be one of the people who gonna use the new law after he establishes it fully and knows that it can be taken down. But I didn't expect him to have actual, you know, more reasoning than it looked like. Like, it was even if partially he was made to do the whole thing and to believe that it's okay by Magase, at least he had some other reasoning other than, like, she pushed him. I was surprised. I didn't expect that, but it was such a checkmate move. I was like, no fucking way, he's the father. Like, in front
Yeah, no,
of
that
the
was like,
television, everybody.
you could tell everyone was nervous. It was just like,
Sorry, I'm not speaking Russian. Feel free to type in English. I don't understand Russian. I can read it, but I can't understand it. Sorry. The reason why people type in Russian is because many people assume that I'm from Russia. I'm not. No. I'm sorry that I cut you off so much, but I saw the chat.
oh, you're good. I noticed that. I was like,
Yeah, Russian. Sorcery word.
Sorcery.
Yeah, but also something subversion to some extent of expectations was that I expected for some reason, like, I know that Kojun was very close with Zen, but for some reason I expected that she controlled him to try to kill Zen. Like, I don't know why I expected that to happen. Obviously, it didn't, because her only ability is apparently to drive them mad till they decide to end their life. But I was scared, like, when you hear like that banging on the door and you see him, and I'm like, and he's like, no, I shot myself in the leg, and I was like, wait, what? What? Why?
Yeah.
But that's so smart. He basically, although he couldn't save himself, he delayed it at least. So there is a way to divert your brain from obsessing over it. I assume if you do it for long enough, her influence is gonna not affect you. But then again,
we have the grandpa of sorts, the therapist.
Oh yeah, the therapist. I mean, he kinda saved himself, although he's living in misery and thinking that he's a horrible guy. Oh my god.
More sorcerers.
Poor guy. At least yeah. But I feel bad for that guy because it's clear that he's a good person. Like, he felt so wrong. He just, like, threw away his whole career. And also interesting touches, even though it's like, what, 8 years or whatever he told us, I think it was 8 years, his hair went fully white for 8 years. Like, I think it's a good touch. Oh, you know.
Yeah, like a little touch of insanity, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it's actual thing that happens with
Stress.
With humans. Yeah, when you're stressed, your hair goes like gets white faster. Especially if you're older person. It's the thing that actually happens with many people. Like, no pun intended, but with people who become presidents. Like, you see it. They black hair. For example, in 4 years, they're always like with
Like,
so many Russian
Ray and
people.
such. Yeah.
With gray hair and everything. And of course, there is also, I don't know how was the actual name of the thing, but excuse me if I'm wrong, but I think it's called Maria Antoinette syndrome, where your hair actually goes for an overnight white after prolonged stress. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna eat it. Just yeah.
Anyway, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. Sometimes it's also genetics. Like,
Yeah, but I like
with-
it because I think it's purpose touch in the case of the doctor because of all that he
yeah,
went through.
what he went through. What actually, not what he went through, what he is still going through. Because as we saw when he was doing flashbacks, pretty
Yeah.
much, you could tell he was like trying not to show it, but he was still feeling the effects
Yeah,
to this day.
yeah, he's kind of shutting himself out of the world. Probably because he's afraid that to some extent, like, she corrupted him and he can't actually try to do that. I assume with people that are not like her, because the mere idea that it became like a thought in his mind, especially given how young she was at that time.
Yeah, what I was kind of hoping in the series a little bit, and I don't know if this was like it was just something that came to my head. It's like, oh, but what if somebody was actually like immune to her charm?
I mean,
And how,
technically, I don't know if it was like because he was so determined to like do it, like he couldn't find the answers, and he let it go in a sense. If he actually let go, then since again we don't know for sure, but Zane is the closest we go to somebody who can't sit in one room with her and survive, basically. At least for some period of time. But yeah, it would be interesting if there was somebody who is totally unbothered by her.
yeah, and just her reaction to that, and like her thought process going through that.
Yeah. Also, we never got explanation why she saw herself in like a hero, and I think that's the thing. Like I checked, it wasn't on purpose, but I came across a kind of comparison between the novel, because it's based on novel that after the anime was released was turned into manga too. There are a lot of differences. That's why I hope I can find a way to read the novel, although it's kind of hard. Like I have to actually find a physical copy probably. Because like for example, Zen doesn't end up giving up his morals in a sense. At least that article was going with the conclusion that he shot himself. That's one of the differences. But for what I saw, like there are many differences. So it's almost half original story because of the way how they went with it.
Yeah, half original, half
Based on biblical, based on the actual novel, more like. But yeah, there are very much a biblical things with especially with the president at the end when he was.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that was, and like that's where the name comes from. Like, there's a story of Babylon the Great and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And from what I saw online, Nagisa is a representative of Hora Babylon.
Yeah, and then he basically said that like the president outright said that he was going to see the answer, the answer not that she's that. But it's interesting because like I hope that in the novel they show more of her her thinking, because seeing that she was absolutely self-aware that she's so messed up, at the same time she was saying that she's the hero, unless she was trying to turn him into the hero, which low-key worked, but not exactly, because she's alive, so she can't just mess up with people, and at least in the anime continuously like just goes around and toy with people. So we don't exactly know what she wanted to do at the end of the day, at least in the anime, as on anime only, since we're anime only.
Yeah.
Because
We've only watched the anime so far, and like even the final ending was like open to interpretation.
yeah,
Because
like
it's, or like open up to possible second season, or
I don't. Sadly, I don't believe that they would do it mainly because of how negative people react to it. I can see why people had things against it. To begin with, the whole topic is so touchy, and not many people enjoy watching stuff that make them question so big questions. And like you know, I am somebody who likes watching stuff like that, obviously. But I understand why people wouldn't like it. Why also not people most of the time prefer stories with end. Like they prefer to not like the ending than the story to have open end.
yeah, and this definitely was a more open-ended ending.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I have a feeling that a lot of once you remember how they were in the church, the president and the pastor was in the church, and they
Yeah.
talked about suicide not actually being a sin.
Yeah, in the
I'm sure that statement got a lot of hate.
I mean, particularly in Japan, they have like the main religion is Shinto, which has totally different logic, like it's spirit based and whatnot. After that is Christianity, but I don't think that, you know, the reaction in my eyes is more. I can see why people throw hate, but I didn't so interestingly enough hate about that. It didn't even cross my mind because I didn't see any comments that were hating that particular thing. But I know that people didn't like how slow, in quotation marks, indecisive the president is. People even went to and like dislike the fact that Zen had his mental breakdown, which was kind of weird because, like, obviously you're gonna have mental breakdown after seeing your best friend shoot himself, then somebody being chopped off in front of you. People were very like unhappy with the fact that he didn't jump immediately into vengeance, and I'm wondering how that guy is still holding on Smile in front of his family. Like,
well, I mean, we did see him go onto the roof after that.
Yeah, I was like, no, you're not going to do that. No. I'm just literally sitting in the edge of my seat and being like, shush, no.
Oh, bad. Just like
His
newspaper pat on
wife is so I combine two words. His wife is so nice. She was seeing that he needs to do something about the situation. I was like, we're gonna wait, you can go. And then the FBI guy showed up. I was like, you're gonna take me with you. And I like how the reasoning for the FBI guy to make him official is partially to look after him because he's so unstable. He's so obsessed with her. And I bet that to some extent that they had like at least 1% of suspicion that he made her up. At least 1% because he was so obsessed.
Yeah, and especially like this psychological effect when he was listening back to and
Oh,
audio
oh
about the
yeah.
phone.
Yeah, the fact that that guy didn't even remember what he was talking about, like, um, which kind of now when I think about it, you're probably right that she at least had partial role in its key decision because it probably happened the same way. Because that guy that they listened the recording for the hospital thing, he didn't remember like exactly what he was talking about with Magase, and he also like didn't didn't have the feeling of something being wrong, but we know that she affected his decision. So the fact that it doesn't look like something was wrong with him and someone affected him. Interesting that like that means again proves that she has more control of her power than like it's not the
Just
yeah
not just that.
yeah, it's not just like she can control. Maybe it's based only on one thing, which is ending their life, which is why she's like the representative of the end. The way they saw, they concluded like the series. For the series, the conclusion is like the good is the continuation of life, like they continue to think what is right and so on, and the negative is to end it. And her power is basically only able to make people end stuff, like in that specific context. But that's why she can influence people, but only for that, like to accept that probably. And this is basically rooted to the fact that she's that way, and so her power can be used for good, but she just uses it for this thing particularly.
Yeah, and when one of my favorite scenes actually apart from that later half of the series, because you can tell it's like there's a shift that happens when the president gets introduced and onwards. Was the G7 what's it called? The gathering.
Yeah.
When they all
the word in my head is symposium, but it's not the right word. But I know for what you're talking about. Yeah, I like how they were willing to listen to each other even though they were bickering. Something that probably doesn't happen in the actual world, but
unfortunately,
yeah.
However, it's like brought up good points where it's like they were discussing because they're talking about like morality and stuff like that, and then all pretty much everyone's moral compass was dissimilar, so that's why they were thinking about even if we have to like wage war against people, we will protect our people.
Yeah,
sort of
and I also liked the example with the thing with one thing that was if you're gonna let one person be run over or five, and
yeah, the trolley conundrum.
And I never had heard about the second one, and when they discussed how they feel different, it was like my first experience of comparing them, so I was exactly in their shoes. I was like, oh yeah, the second one sounds like murder.
Yeah, the second one sounds like murder. The first one is like...
It's like...
It's a conundrum because you also feel bad for killing anyone, really.
Yeah, but you can't justify it for yourself easier than the first one. Especially if you have the idea of a person who is perfectly healthy and is like in the hype of their life, but basically, first 6 episodes were more action, more detective work, and after that is more thinking, as he's the thinker, because it shifted from Zen being the main character to Alex being the main character. He was like, and
yeah.
I fucking hate that his middle name is just W.
W would.
Yeah. I don't know why it just bothered me so much. But I like that they used the fact that he became actually the second main character because they started to make the parallels, like made them have the conversation one on one. And I like the way that like it felt very impactful when Zen was telling the stories about the people he lost. And I knew the cheerful guy does, talking about Fumio and the penguin himself. And I knew guy that my best friend was somebody who wasn't very serious and was laid back and whatnot. I saw him like shoot himself, and the way he gained started respecting that the assistant so fast, especially after that match with her.
Yeah, and like just the reaction, the small little reactions from the president is like, part of me was kind of concerned that he was gonna, because we had heard like he was easily
Oh, you were thinking that he's gonna have a heart attack or something.
yeah, like have a heart attack or something, or yeah, something like that. So it's just like, I was worried. I was like, Mr. President, are you good?
No,
Mr. President, are you good?
I think that it didn't even cross my mind because like he established that he like managed to overcome whatever it was his problem, but I still really like the scene because like one is to know the statistic and know about that one Japanese detective that saw all this, and obviously you're aware that the guy's gonna be traumatized, but hearing from him and him giving a bit of additional information about the people, and like in the head of the president, if they became people, which like it feels different, and yeah, he was like holding his chest and like experiencing it in a way the pain. I almost expected him to outright tell him that like when he was telling him that he's gonna give him orders, I was thinking that he straight up is gonna tell him to shoot her. I expected him to say that, but then he was go back to your family. I was like, oh no, red flag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Red flag alert. Another thing was, crap, I had it, and then it's gone. Crap. I hate when that happens. It's just like I had something to talk about, and that's like it. But oh yeah, we kind of like did get to meet the president before meeting the president, because we, if you notice in the openings when once I think like I think it's the same episode where before we actually meet Alex, we get to see the secondary character like rising up, so in perfect parallel.
Oh really? I
With,
never noticed.
Zen in the opening.
I didn't notice. I have to look that up. I liked how also the endings changed with time. Not many series, especially shorter running series, change only the ending. Although I had noticed that series that rely on psychological elements do that, but didn't expect. I didn't like think about it till it happened, and I was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, sadly, we have to go back and rewatch the endings because in order to
you
not
just skip them, right?
Yeah, in order to like not stay up at 6 a.m. in the morning until finishing, I skipped the endings just to
Yeah.
skip them. However, one thing about the anime is like it's like most other anime, it's like 25 minutes doesn't seem like enough. For this, 25 minutes felt like it was an hour. I was like, how long are these episodes? Oh, it's only 25 minutes? Why did it feel like an hour?
Really, they didn't feel long to me at all. Like I didn't feel like they need to be shorter or longer. They just feel normal.
Well, I should probably specify. It's like it felt to me. It's like it felt like we had so much information that it felt like an hour.
Okay.
It's
Because
like it was.
Yeah, I didn't.
It was so detailed and all that
Yeah,
stuff that
yeah, that's different. Yeah, especially the first 6 episodes is like they at least to me don't feel rushed when I watch them. But when you think that the bulk of action and what's happening, that is not just introspective and monologue and thinking, happened in the six episodes. And yeah, I understand what you mean. Especially they felt fast, as in a lot of stuff happened, but at the same time, to me they didn't feel rushed fast to make it, to catch up, because again it's kind of half original, not exactly, but at least some of the things are changed.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't expect like the other countries to start to like implement it. I always expected the plot to stay in Japan, but then it became international, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I think that was the plan the entire time, and I think they did discuss it where it's like outside of the law of Japan to move that drug to other countries.
Yeah, but the thing is that Itsuki didn't do that for the drug or the money at all. Like, he was genuinely believing in what he was doing. Whatever or not it was influenced by my brain forgot her name.
Magasa?
Yeah, Magase. Magase is another question, but at the end of the day, no one in that story did anything for money, which was the surprising part, because it was even
It was just conceptual stuff, not just.
Yeah. Because at the start they made it sound like the conspiracy of creating the city inside the city, and then make their shady stuff there, including selling of drug. So it sounded like this type of plot. You then drop the bomb with the wall and everything, and you realize that no one actually is caring about the money.
Yeah. Or just about life and death.
Yeah. They also, when Zen was like running in the building before the massacre happened, when he was talking with the woman, like she was like, how they can talk with her, I'm hidden, and you knew that she's gonna. When he was running towards her, like thinking that he's running after her, and we saw only the shoe, I was expecting she to drop out of, like, from the near building in front of him. I was thinking that she's dead and she's gonna jump, but it didn't happen. She was just abducted.
Yeah, well, I don't know, for me, my first thought was actually that she was abducted. I thought, at least, you know how your mind thinks of scenarios before they actually happen? Instead of the torture scene, where that's not much torture, but it's more of a
Killing scene.
butchery.
Yeah.
Butcher scene.
Yeah, she just killed her.
What I thought was gonna happen is that she was gonna use, Makasa was gonna use her to get him to where she wants him.
I mean, it technically happened.
Technically, yes, but I was thinking more like, hitting clues at where.
More detective,
where-
more detective work.
More detective work to find her, and then, I was thinking like that scene would still happen, but with him actually physically there.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but if he was physically there, in a sense, it would be better for him, because, like, the way she made it so they're separated, like, he's forced to watch it just from the screen. He couldn't do anything, which, in my opinion, caused more mental damage, which was her that, and he knew that it's gonna end because she's crazy enough to make it happen. but yeah, overall,
Those eyes.
overall, what you think about the series? Like, I don't like rating stuff, especially series like this, because it's kind of depending on the views of the person. Although we kind of have similar views, you know. Before I was more into rating stuff, but if I have to rate it, I wouldn't rate it the way people give like 6 and 5. I assume to be so low score on my enemies. Not that my enemies is window and end of that situation, but you know.
Yeah, it's a little harsher. People are a little harsher on anime like this.
Yeah.
Just because of whether they don't like the feelings that they're getting, or they just don't like the subject entirely,
or the fact that they are not presented with answer and have to think it for the answer, you know.
It's like I really enjoyed it, and I know you were concerned. It was like, I hope I'm not like suggesting anime you don't like.
Because it's so drastic, and I don't like. We haven't talked enough for me to know really how dark of a show you be okay with. Because there is dark and there is this, and I had seen the first 3 episodes and expecting like the dark to be like 6, 7 out of 10, and then it became 11. I was like, oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So it was just like, oh, so now we're going into like supernatural territory. Okay then.
And that's why I was worried, because like of course this podcast is made for people to find new series and we just to chit chat and have a good time. And so obviously not always the people are gonna like the series the same way. Like you, for example, one of the series that I had recommended, I love it, and the other person just liked it, and that's okay. But you know, I don't want to end up recommending something that the person on the other side absolutely hates, you know.
Yeah. What's that one anime called? My roommates have seen it. It's or was watching it when I got home from work at one point. You had recommended it to me once before. It's Higurashi.
Higurashi, yeah.
I have not seen it, and I am hesitant to see it because for me, it's like the one thing I that my body like naturally, just like that gut punch feeling sort of thing that you get when watching some anime that kind of just like stops you, or like if it just like, well, not stops, but more that like pit in your stomach the entire time.
Yeah, I think
Sort of thing. It is because it is children. That's my thing. It's like it's children doing this stuff. I'm sure there's like some explanation and reasoning, but it's just like that's one of the things that's like.
I mean, and again, as I told you before, I think it's not that I'm desensitized. I can't say that word, but it's not that I'm that, but just that also I watched Higurashi when I was, I wouldn't say too young for the show, but I watched it a while back, and so I'm used to very dark concepts. I would say that giving that you like this, and giving that Higurashi has way better explanation for what's happening and why it's happening, I think that you're gonna like it despite the fact that they are kids.
It's just upon, but not upon first impressions, but like upon just seeing like clips of it and scare factor and all that stuff.
I mean,
it's just like
that's
I'm worried about starting it and then not being able to finish it.
I think that the thing is that Higurashi has very gruesome somehow, right word, because like you actually don't see anything more than you have, as you have seen in anime till now. But the majority of the series is you trying to solve the mystery of why the things are happening the way they happen. You have one episode per 3 or 4 when you see something graphic to some extent, depending on the part of the series. Sometimes it's a bit more graphic than others, and most of the time you deal with psychological stuff similar to Zen. So if you like, yeah, again, obviously if you are not comfortable, you're, don't watch it. But I would say that it's rare enough and not in your face enough to not bother. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably have to. Well, yeah, I'm thinking about watching it. Just that was one of the ones where I was like hesitant about.
Yeah.
But then again, I've also watched Collab.
I mean, you survived late. You can't survive everything, my guy.
Especially that poor puppy scene. I was like, oh.
You survived the whole thing with Tucker and Nina and Alexander. I think you can't survive most of the things that I can recommend you as that series, unless you're watching Devil May Cry Baby, the OG version from 90s or 80s, because I had seen one of these things. I don't know if you had seen clips from it, but there is one clip that was circulating online a while back from the OG version of Devil May Cry Baby, like before the reboot that they did with the good animation and everything. But there is scene of the Devil Man basically using his claws to rip off the chest of one woman and eat the chest. Absolutely uncensored.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It is quite delicious.
Oh my god, your reaction. But yeah, I think that if you have seen Evolate, everything else is sunshine and roses.
I've also noticed, like, as I get older, when you're a kid, it's like, when you're younger, you're like, let's go, bloody stuff and all that jazz, and it's like, as you go older, it's like, it's not that it, not like that I can't handle it. It's just more, I get too invested sometimes.
I genuinely never was a big fan of like mindless gore. Like I don't like gore for the sake of gore or like stuff like that. But it's because I always liked psychology like a thing to begin with. I think it's because I am not overthinking like on daily life. So it kind of end up thinking a lot about thinking. So from that point of view, like I like that series. Just the dark part is more about the mind rather than physical stuff. But often, you can't exclude them in a series because one leads to another. Like they had to see all the things that he saw to get to the point where God, you basically the first 6 episodes are basically you seeing him slowly losing his mind to the point of he was okay with just letting her drag him around. Like she forced him to reevaluate his moral compass and everything.
Yeah. Also, did you notice how? I wouldn't say the art style didn't shift, but did you notice how disheveled his hair was?
Oh yeah. He stopped caring
went
about
to America.
himself. Yeah. I mean, from the start, after I think episode 3 or 4, at some scenes, they were throwing eyebags on him, and the more things went, like after the massacre and he saw Kujin shot himself, he was absolutely like he was sleeping in his room. Everything was like unkept and and everything, and he saw her and absolutely lost it. And basically, being around his family probably kept him alive. The FBI showed him. Okay.
His wife was so adorable.
Yeah, she was so understanding. Also, when she saw him with like uh, the president, he was Zen, like Zen-chan. Oh, you're there. Okay. It was so.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. I just realized that if Zen did die on that roof, that means she saw it.
Yeah. No matter if he was shot or if he shoot himself, in both cases he saw it right because they were the TV people were there and everything. No matter what, no matter how it ended, even if for some reason Magase herself were shooting him, which didn't happen obviously, but he died. I think whatever happened, in whatever way it happened, it was like the consequence was him dying. So so that's why some people actually theorized that probably she died too. Like people theorized that she ended her life, but then who was taking care of the son and why the son was so happy? So I assume that whatever happened, it ended up with him dying in some way, and then they moved to countryside, to get out of the whole situation, and somehow Magase figured where they are, which oh my god, I'm very sorry for cutting our conversations short, but here is getting it late and they're pestering me to stop talking. So we're gonna have to kinda cut it a while. I'm really sorry.
No, you're good. It's been over 2 hours and 16 minutes. So it's like
no, don't worry. It's generally around this time. Midnight Coffee Talk spans around 2 hours and a half because I send my people to rate somebody at the end. But yeah. So.
Although it's like I know, knowing us, we could continue talking for a couple more hours probably.
Yeah. Speaking of that, later I'm gonna text you in VC too. Not in VC, but in our chat. But yeah, I'm gonna send the rest of the people. Actually, I don't know if you want. You can stay just so I can send the people. I generally leave alone and then send them, but I don't mind just staying, just so I can find somebody to rate. And then we hit each other. Oh god.
Because I actually think I'm going to be picked up in about half an hour anyway, so I have to make sure I'm ready.
Okay.
Because I am going on vacation for a week, so I'm not going to be making much content besides on Twitter.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. I can't wait for us to organize something again. Probably it's gonna be some talking thing because you and I have the talking combination apparently. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna see each other in a bit in the chat when I say goodbye to the chat and send us somewhere to visit somebody. So thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
So, I'm sorry people for being a bit in a rush, but as you know, I'm kind of forced to be quiet later. So, I want to find what to send you guys to. I hope you had fun, despite we kind of talking so much and over each other, but okay, let me see who we can update. My internet is dying for some reason. Oh, my friend's here. Okay. Apparently you guys are going to watch Honkai because I'm reading into my friend Loris and she's playing currently Honkai. So thank you very much for visiting. We're gonna see each other